Namaskar. Welcome to Clyde Samvada, brought to you by the Hindu Temple of Scotland. Today we have Anupam with us, and today we are going to dive into some really lesser known or lesser talked about the topics. So, see, like normally when we talk about the different texts, Mahabharata or Ramayana or even more of them. So, what happens is we are very, charmed when we read about Bhagwan, because the stories of Bhagwan are always, for the bhakts, it's always like the best, I would say, the drug. But what happens is, it's like normally said, the Acharya says that if you are able to chant the name of God once, you have been really, really blessed. Like you have special, I would say, like the blessings of the Bhakt of Bhagwan, that you have chanted them once. I sometimes think the people who have written about God for us, like the texts which were written by the writers, we sometimes need to talk about them, and we know so less about them as well. So today we are going to deep dive into the story of Tulsidas ji, and we will know about his history and what all texts he left for us. Some are known popularly, some are known very less. So let's talk about them. Anupam ji.
Thank you, Rishabh ji. So, a very interesting topic of Tulsidas ji or Tulsi Baba, as he is known. So, just to start off with, he is, with the consecration of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. You would have heard the news that Gita Press, that is popularly publishes the Ramcharitmanas, they are running out. They are working overtime. Their presses are overheating, but they've run out of copies of the Ramcharitmanas. So, very timely topic, I would say. Our immense gratitude to Tulsidas ji who created this for us. So let me just start off with Tulsidas ji. He is considered as the reincarnation of the Adi Kavi, Maharshi Valmiki.
Oh.
So who first created the first Ramayana. Actually, here's a bit of trivia. So the first Ramayana was actually created by Shiva himself, and he kept it with himself.
Okay.
So there's a tradition, of Shiva giving this to, it coming down and passing it to Karpusundi and Loma Shrishi and others. But that's maybe for another topic. But the first one that came to this Mrityulok, the earth, was on the inspiration of Brahma. Who actually asked Maharshi Valmiki to create this. So there was a very, very nice, interesting, if you read, the Adhatma Ramayana, it's, or even Valmiki Ramayana, the first chapter, it's very beautiful on how this started. So anyway, that's a little bit about Maharshi Valmiki. And so Tulsidas ji is considered as the incarnation of Maharshi Valmiki, because this is really a text that is profound and sublime, and there is something about when Tulsidas ji wrote this, there were the Pandits of Kashi were very jealous.
Okay.
As usually happens. So they said, let's test this. So in the Kashi Vishwanath temple, the current Kashi Vishwanath temple, what they did is they kept Ramcharitmanas over there, and they kept the other texts on top of it, and then they closed the doors. And in the morning, they found that the Ramcharitmanas written by Tulsidas ji was on top, and it was signed Satyam Shivam Sundaram. So it is actually a testimonial, a forward kind of given by Shiva himself. So it is something, if you read the Ramcharitmanas, you will see that Tulsidas ji again and again says, this is not my creation. This is something that has been created by Shiva. I'm just the one who's doing it.
So I just now you mentioned that Tulsidas ji was a reincarnation. So whenever somebody is reincarnated, there is a reason behind it.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So would you like to tell us the reason that why Tulsidas ji, as a reincarnation?
Sure. So Valmiki ji wrote the first Ramayanam, and so what Hanumanji did is, so there is a saying, that Rama and Satyakoti Abara. You'll see, it's considered as one of the faults of Rama. He has so many virtues, but one of his faults is that people cannot stop from writing their own version of Ramayana.
Okay.
So that's why you will have everyone in every language. You will have many Ramayans, right? Rana Bhanti Ram Avtara, Ramacharit Sat Koti Abara. Okay, so Hanumanji said, I want to write my own, right? So they say that he wrote the Ramayana in a very beautiful verses of Ramayana, and he wrote it with his nails on rocks. And obviously, being Adi Kavi, he went to Valmiki and he said, you've written the first Ramayana, can you proofread this? Do you think, how do you like this?
Mm-hmm.
And it was so beautifully written that Valmiki ji said, if this gets out, I don't know who's going to read mine.
Okay.
So what he said is, yeah, I've read this, it's great, but I want Guru Dakshina. I said, of course. And he said, you have to throw these rocks in the ocean. So obviously, he had to give it, so Hanumanji did it. Now when he did this, Rama, he came and he said, look, this is not expected from a saint of your caliber,
Yeah.
Valmiki ji. Right, so this is Matsarya, the Shadripus, the six, one of them. It's not good for you. So you're going to have to go back and you're going to have to get rid of this. So you're going to have to reincarnate again. So he came as Tulsidas ji, and you can see the beauty of the Ramcharitmanas as well. So that's a bit of the backstory of his reincarnation.
Wow. So when now the Tulsidas ji is here with us, so Ramcharitmanas is one of the most famous one, which is very well known. Which other ones are a little lesser known, if you would like to dive into that part?
Right. So so there are many. The most famous one that everyone probably, I think more than half of the people in India do is Hanuman Chalisa. Right. So that's the most famous one. And there are others that he wrote. Parvati Mangal, Janki Mangal, Kavitavali, Geetavali. There are 12 texts that are really famous Hanuman Bahuk of Tulsidas ji. But mostly, right, other than Hanuman Chalisa, Ramcharitmanas is the famous one, and there's another one which is quite famous, but not as famous as the Vinay Patrika. We'll just talk about it a bit later, maybe towards the end. We'll touch upon that if you like.
Yeah, why not? So now the story has come into that, and Hanumanji is there. So obviously, when he wrote about Hanuman Chalisa, so there must have been some encounter with Hanumanji of Tulsidas ji. Is there a story behind that?
Oh, it's beautiful. Thanks for asking that. It's really beautiful. So, so Tulsidas ji, he did a lot of, the guru he got and everyone, his education in Kashi. So he was more and more shifting towards Sitaram. So he, as happens, he did a lot of jap about this, and I've heard in one place that he did, one nauka is 9 crores 99 lakhs 99,999. So he did 9 times that meant Ram Nam Jap. So, as he was, so once you do that, you really feel like meeting your Isht. So he was, how can I get close to Ram? So what he used to do was, as part of his daily routine, after his, morning routine, he used to give water to a peepal tree. And there was a preta who used to reside over there. So one day that preta just said that, look, and pretas is not very good yoni, they don't get water and all that. So he was indebted to Tulsidas and he said, ask me something, you've given me so much. So Tulsidas said, he just had one thing in mind, I want to see Rama. So he said, look, I cannot go to, I don't have that kind of capability, but I know someone who can take you to Rama, and that is Hanumanji. He said, how come you can take me to, you can tell me where Hanumanji is, but you can't tell me where Hanumanji is. He said, look, you heard of Bhoot Pisach Nikat Nahi Aame, right? So we have to keep a tab of where he is, right? So we always know where he is, and I need to stay away, right? So I'll tell you exactly where to find him. He said, okay, great. So he said, do one thing. So start a Ram Katha, and the person who comes first and who leaves last is going. Don't let that person go. That person is Hanumanji. Okay. So he did that, and he used to watch one old person, very ugly looking, or he used to just come and sit in a corner, and then in the end he used to just wobble away and go. So he watched it for 1 or 2 days. Third day he just caught his feet and said, I'm not letting you go. Saying, please, what are you doing? You're Hanumanji, I know. So he's like, okay, fine. Okay, so he said, what do you want from me? So he said, okay, I want to see Ram Lakshman. So he said, okay, do one thing, go to Chitrakoot, and I'll facilitate. Okay, so he goes to Ramji. So he was there, and he was just on that ghat of the Mandakini, and he saw, on 2 horses, one Shyam and one Gaur, so 2 princes, just 2 men. And he ignored it. He did not realize they were Ram and Lakshman. Then Hanumanji said, did you see them? No, I didn't know they were. No, this is not fair. I really, you need to tell me, right? So he said, okay, I'll give you one more chance. So, he was sitting over there, and there was, I forgot the name, I think it was Mauni Amavas. And he was, doing the chandan, and he was giving it to the people, the pilgrims over there. So here comes one prince, and he says, Baba, hame bhi chandan de do. So he was not doing this, with the chandan, and then Hanumanji said, not again. So he became a parrot, and he said on Chaupai, चित्रकूट के घाट पर भई संतन की भीड़, Tulsidas चंदन के से तिलक देत रघुवीर.
Wow.
So then he realized, oh my God, right? I'm actually doing tilak to Ram and Lakshman. So there's a beautiful photograph. I think I'll just send it. You can probably attach it to the video where Tulsidas is doing tilak to Ram and he's going down. So that's how he met and then they had a relation and he was inspired, and Tulsidas was guided at every step by Hanumanji in writing the Ramcharitmanas. There is a Hanuman Natak, by the way, just it came to my mind. So that is the original text written by Hanumanji. If you want, you can just search it. Again, that's beautiful. Somehow they've got that, but that is the Ramayana written by Hanumanji. It's called Hanuman Natak.
Wow. So where is it found? Like the
just do internet, you'll get it.
Oh,
Hanuman Natak. Just search for Hanuman Natak.
So see, even in this story, like what a significance of like Ram na milenge Hanuman ke bina,
Oh yeah.
Like, you need to have the bhakt to only go to the
very much,
and to the Bhagwan. So talking about this, so when you talked about like the Vinay Patrika, the lesser known, the very popular but still the lesser known text, what's so special about the Vinay Patrika?
Right, so I'll just give a bit of a context. I just have one message to say about the Vinay Patrika. It's beautiful, it's very profound, and I think the bhav expects in the Vinay Patrika. Like there's one saint who has done, he said that, okay, let me, because not many people, you've heard of Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran, and you'll see Srimad Bhagavad Gita, you'll see Ramcharitmanas, Ramkatha, all these Kathakars are there, they do all this, right? But Vinay Patrika you'll see very rarely. So he said, let me do this, and okay, it was at the time of the COVID, so he said, good time for me to do this, and he said, maybe 6 months, and I'll go line by line. It actually took him 3 years to do it,
okay.
Because once you go into that, it's so deep, so it's very, very sublime, it's Vinay Patrika. So the point, I'll give an example of the point I want to make is, Vedvyas. Vedvyas ji is one of the 24 avatars of Vishnu. So he partitioned the Vedas into 4, and he created so many texts. He wrote the Mahabharata, 1 lakh shlokas, and on and on, you can go on and on. And he wrote the 18 Puranas. So the first 17 he wrote, and he was still not satisfied. Like, I don't think I've said what I want to say. So that's when Naradji came to him and he said, look, you've written these 17 Puranas, have you written about Krishna? I said, no. Said, do that and see if you feel, Purna, right? Purna Vada, Purna Vada. Do you feel that you've completed yourself? So he did that, and that's why the 18th Puran, the last one, is the Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran, and that's when he broke his pen, the kalam tod, as they say it. So that's one of the significances of the Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran. So similarly, Tulsidas ji, the last text after which he broke his pen is the Vinay Patrika. That's my point.
Oh, so like it's like the conclusion of his experience of everything.
So that's when a writer says, I don't know what else I have to say. I have found completeness. I think I am fully, tript krit krit, as they say, right? I'm done.
Yeah, so like because Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran, it is said that if every text is lost, and if we are left only with Mahapuran, nothing is lost.
Oh yes.
So similar is the Vinay Patrika.
Very much. It has small prayers to each and every god. It's beautiful.
So it's like a gratitude to everything.
Everyone. Very much. So that's his thing of in drama, in writing about Shiva, and there's such beautiful compositions. Each one can you can give lectures for hours on each path that he's created in Vinay Patrika.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Anupam, for giving us insight of such a great poet and then what he has done for us.
My pleasure.
And we will join you back very soon with some other episode and some more knowledge into depth of our culture. Thank you. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.